listen, they have not. The last 1,000-yard rusher they had was before Mahomes took over as starter. And they had been able to piece it together, and they had such an explosive passing game, and Kelsey was such a dynamic weapon. And then that slowly somewhat atrophied. And to my eye, teams had such little respect for the Chiefs' ability to break explosive runs. They were always daring them to run. The Chiefs couldn't consistently run, except for on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1, where they were better than the tush push. Like, they were elite at that Kareem Hunt getting a 1.5-yard play. And so they had to address that, but they addressed it.
I want to unpack that very specific take about the lack of run support and how Patrick Mahomes has had to carry all this weight and all of this. That line right there is so fascinating to me. Because I had reacted to this clip as a whole and just simply said, oh, that's by design. Andy doesn't have a lot of 1,000-yard rushers, that he uses the passing game as an extension of the run game, that this is all by design. And then I pointed out a couple playoff games that Mahomes and the Chiefs have had, and yet they still rose the occasion. Lots of rushing yards, all that type of stuff. And in that very video, I literally referred to Patrick Mahomes as the key, and I said what they need is a big-time playmaker, a new safety net for a new security blanket for Mahomes. I'm literally praising Mahomes and saying he's the key, but he has no lock. I'm literally out here giving like little, metaphors that people give on their wedding day when they're saying their vows. But for Kansas City Chiefs fans, like, that's not enough. That's no. I'm apparently biased. I get this comment. I have missed these biased Chiefs takes. Quote, it's by design, the Chiefs haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher. Do you hear yourself? Kareem Hunt would have been exactly that before he got kicked off the team. Then they spent a high draft pick on Clyde Edwards hoping he would be just that. And it's just so funny. Again, calling me biased in a video where I am literally praising Patrick Mahomes. I'm calling him the key. Again, and then I just said that he needs a new lock. It's like the cheesiest metaphor you can come up again. I told you it's wedding day vows that I'm out here saying. And that's not enough. That's not enough. So then in that comment I was like, let me get after this. And so I went through all the numbers, all the stats, all the data, and it was so good. I just kept learning more and more stuff, and I was like, I got to turn this into a video right now. So that's what I did. I put all the numbers together. I made the graphics. So let's just jump right into it. Honestly, it's better than I could have ever imagined. More than I initially realized. And we'll put aside because I said that this is more about Andy's scheme, etc. I'll put that aside. At the end, I'll go and show you that literally when the Eagles back in like 2001 and 2 and 3 and 4, when they went to 4 straight NFC championship games, they didn't have 1,000-yard running backs. Like that's not how they operated. That Andy Reid is literally the godfather of this pass-happy offensive league, and screens and behind the line of scrimmage passes, all that stuff. But that's if you don't know your history, that's on you. But the Kansas City Chiefs' regular season rushing yards per carry. In 2018, they were 4.8 yards per carry. In 2019, 4.2 yards per carry. In 2020, they were 4.5 yards per carry. In 2021, 4.5 yards per carry. And again, mind you, the Eagles were 4.9 in 2021. In 2022, 4.7 yards per carry. Eagles 4.9. In 2023, they were 4.3 yards per carry, and the Eagles were 4.3. So literally, everyone talks about how the Eagles' rushing attack is so elite and so special, and that's why they do everything that they do. Are you saying that it's right next to the Eagles? Like literally in 4.7 compared to 4.9. You're seeing that? And I only went up to 2023 because that was the heart, right? 18 to 23. That's when everyone was like, this is when the Chiefs are at their peak. They won their Super Bowls. 25 obviously injured. 2024, people were like, oh, the O-line's a mess, this that and the third. So I just left that aside to not muddy the waters here. It's literally all the Super Bowl runs. 2018, 2020, you know, all the stuff with Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. This is the juice. This is the prime premium Kansas City Chiefs. So we can't say, well, it's not fair because 2024 weighed it down and 2025 weighed we're not doing that. This is literally the most favorable statistics for Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. No denying it. No denying it. No books cooked. And this is what I'm talking about, how it's an extension. This is what Andy Reid does, and by design. Behind the line of scrimmage yards. In 2018, Patrick Mahomes first with 785 yards and first in touchdowns. In 2019, he actually had a down year in behind the line of scrimmage yards. Oh, it just so happens that it was also a down year in passing yards for him. He was 10th, but yet he was still 5th in attempts and 2nd in touchdowns. In 2020 he has 475, 6th in the NFL and 1st in touchdowns. And then of course in 2021, 904 yards from behind the line of scrimmage. 1st in touchdowns. In 700 and in 2022, 703 yards. 1st in the NFL. 1st in touchdowns. In 2023, 797 yards. 1st in yards. 1st in touchdowns. And again, don't tell me that they did it 'cause other people say, well, we didn't have a deep threat. We didn't have this and that. Don't tell me that. 2021, Tyreek Hill was on the team. Travis Kelce in his prime. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. 2020, 2019, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, okay? 'Cause it's absolute utter nonsense. And if you want to go and tell me, well, it's because Patrick Mahomes is able to do it because they're so afraid of this that, then why was Tua with Mike McDaniel at the top of the NFL and behind the line of scrimmage and screen passes like in 2023, right? Why is Kirk Cousins and Tua at the top of the NFL in touchdowns when Kirk Cousins got to Minnesota with Kevin O'Connell? Is it because scheme matters? Play calling matters? Coaching matters? Like that can't be right. No. That can't be. Screen passes yards rank. In 2018, Patrick Mahomes first. 2nd in touchdowns. That's with Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill. 2019, 16th, so not as good. But still 2nd in touchdowns. So still pretty good. 2020, 10th. 1st in touchdowns. 2021, 1st in touchdowns. 2022, 1st in touchdowns. 2023, 1st and 2nd in touchdowns. He was off by one. Off by one. So close, so close. So close. So yes, that is how Andy operates. But wait. There's more. The Kansas City postseason rushing rank yards per carry. 3rd in 2018. This is just playoff teams. 6th in 2019. 4th in 2020. 2nd in 2021. 3rd in 2022. And 9th, which that was their lowest in 2023. So in the playoffs the run game literally rises to the occasion. During Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs from 2018 onward the rushing attack averages, and this is without Mahomes, mind you. This is without Mahomes rushing yards. So this is just relying on the run game, not Mahomes, okay? 4.8 yards per carry. 4.8 yards per carry in the playoffs. For those of you don't know, that's really good. And we're going to dig even deeper into that. 4.8 yards per carry. Remember that number. It's going to come up. 4.8, last Super Bowl winners rushing yards per carry. The Seahawks 4.1. The Eagles, the greatest rushing attack in the history of the NFL, Saquon Barkley, the O-line 4.9. So the Chiefs during their playoff run is at 4.8 and the Eagles with the greatest rushing attack, and it's not fair, Saquon Barkley, the O-line. 9, a 0.1 difference. And mind you, to even help out the CH. Eeks even more, I removed the blowout games, mind you. I removed the 2 Super Bowls, the Eagles and the Bucks, where obviously they got rocked. 'Cause again, like that actually hurts that, you know, and I sort of like I'm not. We removed that because it's just like, you know, what are you supposed to do in those games? So again, I literally put the data in a way that gives the Chiefs the most favorable outcome, the most favorable data to help them in the best possible situation. 4.9 for the Eagles. 4.8 for the Kansas City Chiefs. The Rams 4.0. The Chiefs 4.8. The Bucks, Tom Brady, 4.1. The Chiefs 4.8. The Patriots 4.3. The Chiefs 4.8. The Eagles in 2017, Nick Foles, baby, let's go. 4.5, the Patriots 3.9. The Broncos 4.2. The Seahawks with beast mode, 4.3. Are you seeing that the Chiefs actually are really high up there in yards per carry? Weird, right? Weird. But then you're going to be like, why you only using yards per carry? You're being misleading. Why you only using yards per carry? 1, because everyone plays different sets of games, obviously, right? Like not you don't have the equal bottom line like the Eagles have only played, you know, it's a different with the yards per carry, you can actually equate them to different seasons in a way, right? 'Cause it's just well, when you hand the ball off, how many yards are you getting, right? How many are you getting per carry? It's a lot easier to transfer over. Like completion percentage, whereas if I just compared bottom line yards, that's a lot harder because everything's kind of changing year to year. But just for fun, I knew people were going to ask that question and be like, why are you doing that? So, I still put together all of the yards together. And I compared them to the Buffalo Bills. Ooh, this is juicy. This one's so good. So, now this is the Chiefs vs Chiefs vs Bills playoff rushing comparison. Now, the Chiefs have 17 games and the Bills have 15, okay? Oh, it's so good. Total rushing yards, 1,614 to Josh Allen's Buffalo Bills to 1,243. Yards per carry, 4.8 to 4.1. Rushing touchdowns, 11 to Josh Allen 7. And again, this is removing also Josh Allen. So, this is their team stats removing Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes's. So, this is just what is a team doing. Total attempts, 336 to 295. So, it comes out to each 20 attempts each. So, 20 attempts each per game. And they get 4.8, the Bills get 4.1, and more touchdowns. So, it comes out to be 95 yards per game to 82.8 yards per game and touchdowns 0.65 touchdowns per game to 0.46. So, who has had the better rushing attack during the playoffs? Would it be the team that's averaging almost nearly a full yard more per carry? No, that can't that breaks Kansas City Chiefs' brains. That can't be. That can't be. No, that's I can. TB. That doesn't make sense. How can it be? Poor Mahomes, he hasn't had a 1,000-yard rusher. And it's just because of the passing game and the passing game, but now teams were like, we dare you because you can't run the ball. That I don't understand. And then they ran for 1,600 yards. And Nick, last season, said Cook ran for over 1,600 yards. Stop saying that, Patrick, that Josh Allen doesn't have any support. But he said, how dare you consider Josh Allen for the MVP? How dare you do that? Stop reducing and marginalizing James Cook, who has 1,600, who led the NFL in rushing yards. On a 17-game season, it seems like the Kansas City Chiefs would be leading in rushing yards as well. Pretty interesting, eh? Pretty interesting. 4.8 yards per carry, up there with literally Saquon Barkley and then the Philadelphia Eagles and their historic rushing season. That's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Who's had to take up more of the burden of his team's rushing? Patrick Mahomes has never led his team in rushing yards during the playoffs with the whole total. So, if you played 3 games, right, divisional round, AFC championship game, Super Bowl, whatever, and you add it all together. 0 times Patrick Mahomes was his team's leading rusher. Josh Allen, 4 out of 7 of his playoff runs, Josh Allen had to be his team's leading rusher. I mean, it's pretty insane. I mean, do you see how misleading a statement like what Nick said really ends up being? And then that's why you get comments like this. I'm the one that's biased for pointing out literally obvious facts. Okay. Like, not only is Patrick Mahomes able to get an insane amount of production from behind the line of scrimmage and screen passes, but also an incredibly high level of support on the ground as well, specifically when it matters most in the playoffs. In the playoffs. I mean, literally over a 17-game season, 1,600 yards, 4.8 yards per carry, 11 touchdowns. 95 yards per game. I mean, it's pretty unreal. So, you're getting that amount of support on the run game, and you're getting all the behind the line of scrimmage and screen passes on top of that. It's kind of insane. I mean, it really is. It really is. You're talking about 2,000 plus yards of just gravy. Of just gravy, of just easy. Of just easy. That's not even factoring in all the other extra yak that you get beyond screen passes and beyond, behind the line of scrimmage passes. 'Cause we already know, I've already gone through those numbers a ton. 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. Patrick Mahomes is tied consistently number 1 or number 2 in YAC. But I mean, like, if we just compare it to what Josh Allen's support has been in the run game. Like, nowhere is Nick saying, well, they just don't have any run support for Josh Allen in the playoffs. No, I mean, they've only scored 7 touchdowns in 15 games on the ground. And they only get 82.8 yards per game on the ground. And poor Josh Allen has had to lead his team in rushing yards 4 out of 7 playoff runs. 4 out of 7. That's insane. That's insane. People have the audacity to try to act like Josh Allen's the problem for the Buffalo Bills. Really? Again, look no further than everyone's obsession with Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles and how easy it was for their yards per carry. And again, it's just breathtaking that the Eagles were 4.9 in their playoff run. In 2024, their Super Bowl run. And yet the Chiefs are sitting here at 4.8. 4.8, a 0.1 difference than the very team that, mind you, lots of Kansas City Chiefs fans, lots of Mahomes fans were saying, well, it's easy. It's easy for Jalen Hurts. He had a great defense, a great run game, a great O-line. And it's like, the Chiefs have had better O-lines than the Philadelphia Eagles. In 2022, they had a pass block win rate of 75%. And the Philadelphia Eagles in 2024, their pass block win rate was 68%. You know that, right? You guys understand that? You understand that the Kansas City Chiefs defense has been elite for years. And then it's shutting down Lamar Jackson and holding him to 10 points at home. The MVP? You understand that, right? You understand that? You understand that the run game is genuinely there in the playoffs as these stats clearly show. That's not even factoring in the easy designed runs that Andy's got cooking up for Patrick Mahomes. Especially in 2024, especially against the Buffalo Bills. I broke that down. I showed you Greg Cosell breaking that down and being like, this is an Andy Reid special. Those were like literally his exact words. This is an Andy Reid special. I'm not even factoring in that, man. And then again, it's funny because other people will say you always use screen passes behind line of scrimmage again, and it's like John Middlecoff asked Andy Reid directly. Now that these screen passes behind line of scrimmage all these types of pass attempts are through the roof now because of how Andy Reid changed the NFL. And he said, how do you evaluate quarterback play? John Middlecoff asked this to Andy Reid himself, and Andy said, I don't factor in any of those throws. I don't pay attention to any of them when evaluating a quarterback. It's literally what Andy Reid himself said. And yet you want to give all that credit to Patrick Mahomes for that? So you want to do something that his own coach doesn't even want to do? Do you mean to tell me that you have a better idea how to evaluate quarterback play than Andy Reid? I mean, that's if you have a better understanding of quarterback play than Andy Reid. If you're not in the NFL, you got to get there. ASAP. You got to get there ASAP. Leave a comment. I'll write you a letter of recommendation. I don't know, I'll do whatever I can to get you in the NFL. I'll do anything I can, man. I will support your dream then. I will do anything I can. If you know more about quarterback play than Andy Reid, I got you. Let me know. Let me know and I will do everything in my power. We'll go from team to team. Will drive all over the country and I'll be like, you got to talk to this guy. I promise you. I will be your agent, your manager, your friend, your supporter, whatever you need, I got you. I got you. Oh, wait, you don't exist because you don't know more about quarterback play than Andy Reid? Okay. Got it. And just so we're clear, during Andy's peak run with the Philadelphia Eagles when he got to 4 NFC championship games in a row, and the Super Bowl, obviously. He had 1,000 yards receiver one year with Duce Staley, and it was 1,029 yards, which at that time was only 16th. You had guys that had 1,100, 1,200, 1,300, 1,400, 1,500, 1,600, nearly 1,700, 1,800, nearly 1,900. Is it because this is how Andy Reid operates and he's done it literally for decades? Okay. Got it. I remember Andy Reid told me. I was like, was that weird for you trying to evaluate this guy? He said, no, not at all. Actually, it made it easier. I just siphoned the passes that he threw behind the line of scrimmage cause those had little to no value in my evaluation of the player. So that's literally John Middlecoff talking about his conversation with Andy Reid. And how he just doesn't even factor in those behind the line of scrimmage passes. And yet we can see the insane amount of success that Andy and Mahomes have with those behind line of scrimmage passes, the screen passes. I'm sorry, it's the truth. I really am. I'm sorry, it's the truth. It's not biased. It's not biased. I mean, it's funny because this is what I said in this clip. You know, I made the metaphor before, which is like Patrick Mahomes is a key but he has no lock right now, right? So he's the key but he has no lock, and a Kenneth Walker is not the lock and an edge. That's all I said. That's all I said. I just said Kenneth Walker isn't the lock for Patrick Mahomes' key for his greatness. It's just, oh, man, it's funny. It's never ending. I'll end here cause you know, it's just so funny cause Nick again said like, oh, they were daring them to run in this or that. And I know people in the comments section, especially for this comparison between the Chiefs and the Bills, people will say, well, they got more rushing yards because of they're so afraid of Patrick Mahomes' threat to throw. And they're like they'll try to like twist it in that way, and it's like Nick just said the run game was so bad that they were daring them to run. And it's like how do you reconcile that then? How do you connect those? How do you connect those dots? You can't. You can't. You can't make sense out of nonsense. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Kansas City Chiefs, the run support, the lack of run support, Andy Reid's approach to utilizing the run game, and just the fact that Patrick Mahomes has just been able to make do? You know what I mean? The poor guy hasn't had a 1,000 yards rusher. I know it's really sad. It really is. Could you imagine if he just had a 1,000 yards rusher? He would probably have one. I think a conservative estimate is probably 9 Super Bowls already. I know he hasn't actually played 9 seasons yet, but this is Patrick Mahomes we're talking about. If anyone could win 9 Super Bowls in less seasons, it would be Patrick Mahomes, right? If anyone could do it would be Patrick Mahomes. So it's just a shame. If they could just get him a 1,000 yards receiver or the 1,000 yards rusher, it's over. It's over. I predict if they get him a 1,000 yards rusher from this point on, if he plays another, let's just say he plays another, cause it is Patrick Mahomes, so he'll play another 15 years, I guess. Mahomes will play another 15 years. They get him a 1,000 yards rusher for every single one of those years, that's a minimum of 20 Super Bowls. Right? Cause he'll play for 15 more years. He'll win 20 Super Bowls in that 15-year window. Yeah. So then he'll retire. With what? 23? Well, no, I guess technically it'd be 25, because for Mahomes 23 would actually be 25. He would have 25 Super Bowls. That's pretty cool. Talk about rings. He'll have 5. I don't know where else he'll put it, cause it'll be on all his toes, all his fingers. I'll turn it into some necklaces, I guess. I don't know. His kids can wear them. His wife can wear them. He'll be running out of places, I guess. It's pretty cool. Patrick Mahomes really is the GOAT. He really is. I admit it. He is absolutely the GOAT. It's pretty cool. I'm just amazed and grateful that I get to witness it. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about everything? And let's be clear. I'm not bashing Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is great. Again, this all came from a video where I'm literally talking that they should get Patrick Mahomes some support and help and allow him to be magical and then do all the cool stuff. That's what birthed this whole entire video. I wasn't just oh, I'm going to make a video to prove. No, it's like when you say that I'm biased for just speaking reality, that's when you get a video like this. So don't come at me why are you doing this to you just hate Mahomes. It's no. That's not what this is. I'm just simply making a video to show the evidence. It's I don't know what to tell you. You don't do this for Josh Allen. And it's well, here's Josh Allen's stats. And we can see that he's had to do more with less. Heck, Jalen Hurts has technically had to do more with less. It's pretty crazy, right? So let me know. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help its visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.